So I started to think about what I could do to improve the range and penetration of the E11, the Eachine E11, and I looked to what I'd done with Bugs 3 derived drones. What I found to get a range that's in excess of 1 kilometre is to make sure that I've got both the antennas vertical. Those linear antennas are just fine for all the range you need. So I thought I'd try and apply that to the little tiny ducted drone. So what I figured I could do was drill a hole in the casing in the drone for the casing of the camera and have the antenna sticking straight up. And then I had a look at the controller, found I could take it apart, 4 screws, and the antenna was lying flat on the motherboard. So I drilled a hole through it and just stuck it up so it's vertical. So hopefully this should give me reasonable range. So here they are out on the wall, and you can clearly see the modification. So what I decided to do is to try it out in some tunnels. So this first tunnel was about 60 metres long. It was actually 2 tunnels, a little bit of air between it. So that seemed like a good place to start, a fairly wide tunnel at that. Very sensitive from the ear, so as soon as it gets out in the open air, there's a wee bit of wind, start to lose control of it, but regained it and ploughed on through the next tunnel. So into the light. So the only problem came at the end is when I turned around to see if I can come back through the tunnel, there's quite a strong breeze. So I'm flying into the wind, and I persevered for a bit and then realised I wasn't making any progress. So once I started moving backwards, I dropped it and we moved on to what we hoped was a more protected tunnel. So this is a tunnel under another roadway, and it's much smaller. It's for pedestrians and cyclists. And there was a cross breeze, so there was no breeze at all once you enter the tunnel, which is great. So first time through, flying into the light, a little bit careful, but no problem with control. So there's one of us at either end, so we could check to see if there's anybody around, but it wasn't really a problem. So I got out, a bit concerned about what's going to happen with the wind, but turned around and got back in. So, a great tool for tunnel inspection, particularly at the price. I think there was a slight headwind coming back, so because it was fairly slow, but it's good. You can see a bit more detail of the tunnel. We had some recent heavy rain, so you can see behind me there a whole bunch of trash that got caught up in the fence. So it wouldn't have been a fun place to be a few days ago. And once again I'm into a headwind and not making any progress. So I was going to call it a day, drop it, and then I thought, well, why not turn around and go back? Particularly now I've got a feel for it, we'll ramp up the speed a bit and go for it. So, once more, a little bit more stick. And my observer will start to walk back there. And that's it. It's a fun flight. I've got a lot of value from this tiny drone. Okay, so let's have a look at the charge at the end of flight. So, .382. So they're a lot of fun, and you can challenge yourself if you've got some interesting places to fly. But I noticed when I was outside in the wind, That's when it got a little bit tricky through the doorway, but no, all good.